Shall we begin our investigations then? I am acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. And of the man himself, I only know that which is common knowledge. Thus I should suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes than Medion, and I have a good idea where we might begin. Oh, and all those quests just opened up. Ooh boy.
In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
See the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Ismene. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis, and from what I recall, she had held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide some insight. Go and ask her questions. I will help with drawing out answers if need be, but I leave the choice of topic to you. Questions for me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. Oh, another one of these things. Greeting, Ismene. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes. I was wondering if you might indulge her. Certainly, Mistress Venat. Anything to be of service. What do you wish to know? Let's see. So, well, let's start with the obvious. What kind of person is Hermes? Well, I can only answer from my own experience, but I would describe him as a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His recipient nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. The man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail. He is the leading authority on concepts with the power of flight. I hope that answers your question. Was there anything else? What of his abilities? It is no secret that she is a highly unusual familiar. Of late, the chief often makes his rounds with her, like a mother hen raising a chick. I understand that she is able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies, I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I have not had occasion to discuss with Chief Hermes. Do you wish to be known better? Your chief may not be the most gregarious individual, but he engages us as is necessary for everyone to perform their duties. I wouldn't want to intrude upon his privacy for the sake of curiosity. Though if you wish to learn more about Medion, you could try speaking with Timayos, another expert in creation flying concepts. You should be conducting his observations on the bank of the stream, somewhere to the east. Oh, and unless you take a particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. Yes, I'm Timayos, but please keep your voice down, you're startling the birds. So, what is it you wish to speak about? What do you think of Chief Hermes' flying creations? Chief Hermes' work? A worthy subject indeed. Those beings which soar through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever a favorite of creators. Even now, with so many varieties in existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. What sets the Chief's creations apart, however, is how they benefit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that can climb so high that they disappear from view, others would traverse the boundless skies in moments, and all without riding the currents. I know none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. So why not mimic it? Is there something special? What can be plagiarized? Oh. Now see here, when I take up the threads of creation and begin to weave, I must do so with the belief I'm giving birth to something beautiful. If in my heart I knew I was appropriating another's inspiration. Unstoppable diatribe. I sense I was wrong. Therefore, despite my admiration for Medion as a concept, I have made a conscious effort not to delve too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating the emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery. If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Medion's concept to the Bureau of the Architect, then will the design be registered for public scrutiny, analyzing the colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan looking for advice, that would be an entirely different story. You know of Dynamis and Endwalker? Dynamis and Endwalker? Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower here made in Elpis which exhibited properties of one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Not really. Then why bring up the subject? I'm flattered you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. I must return to my observations. Yeah? So the answer is, at present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis and the Endwalker which can control it. Yet most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth, except for Hermes it seems. Thus am I inclined to stay on their current course and learn all we can about Chief Overseer and his familiar. On that subject, is there aught else to note you can tell me of Medion, aside from her unorthodox method of communication? Well, she has sisters. And they're out there somewhere. I'd rather wish you'd mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? So these siblings of hers now travel the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Thank you. Though the mystery at hand remains unresolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I suppose we take ourselves to Perpetua Crystalline, not far from here. Just follow the path to the west. This tower and the one further along are both part of Perpetua Crystalline, the facility where they archive all of Elpis' observational testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magically interconnected spaces, which, while fascinating, is not the reason we are here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lessons short and see what those two archivists have to say. If you could find someone to speak with over at the other tower, I should join you anon. The Chief Overseer's personal research project, and by that I assume you Medion. Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day has gone past without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Medion appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although, I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Hydaelyn shared with me. Ah, Hydaelyn is my partner, and a fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Medion heavensward, a host of them. For several days, she would speak of that scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she has ever witnessed. That sounds very like a story I should like to hear. It's just Venat! I thought you already returned to the surface. Permit me to thank you again for your invaluable contribution to our concept placement proposal. Pray do not mention it. As you say, my original plan was to leave after that task, but I have since become engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. Would you favor me in retelling the sight which you so delighted your Hydaelyn? Of course. Or you could hear it from her lips directly if you prefer. At present, she'd be observing a subject at Metabasis Thalassai. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters of the world's oceans, recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Venat. Even though such persistence continually and regrettably delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. 'Tis a well-deserved and long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered for your wisdom you've accumulated during your travels as a Zen. And what would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed served as the basis of many techniques still used today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody that nature with as much enduring passion as you. I dare say there's not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I will be honored. Well, shall we take this opportunity to meet with Hydaelyn in person? I also just realized she mentioned a promise at the very beginning of this expansion, and I get the feeling we're gonna be making a promise soon. This is Venat! I was told not to expect. We would have prepared an official welcome. Please, there's no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Hydaelyn. That might be arranged. Yes, Hydaelyn, of course. I will inform her immediately. Ah, but she may be engaged in a testing phase. You could be in for something of a wait. Should I let her know your business is urgent? That won't be necessary. This lovely view will keep us occupied until she's ready to receive us.
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view.
Oh, look, purple tree.
What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place?
In some ways. Some parts, yes. Others, not so much.
Dark, hidden places, rife with danger. Those have an altogether different, but no less powerful sort of appeal. While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures? Well, not the portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans. But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveler. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account.
Orchevant. There it is.
Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it. Yours is a harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, your brethren hold fast to their virtue. To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart. Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word. As you know, I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world. What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? Whence sprung mankind? Riddles and mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them. Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us, born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity. When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined, it could be done. A passion swelled within me. An epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true. And a presence without. Immense, yet intimate. Fate, perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace. As reassuring as it was intimidating. How keenly aware I became of creation's fragility. Built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately. To hear its voice, feel its breath. I ventured forth on a journey that very day. So very long ago now. freed from presumption and prejudice. I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new. And so beautiful. Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning, and my purpose, my love. And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star. Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. A moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way. You, who are our future, tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
Yeah, it has.
Pray forgive my lateness.
Damn it.
My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteon. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation.
Hold on. I recognize this voice.
As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone. Like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling.
Is this Ancient Lise? Hi, hello. Present me chiming in to correct me of a year ago. That wasn't Lisa's voice actor, Laura Aikman. That was GaiaMaiden. And I was actually on the right track as far as her voice being familiar, because she voiced Emilience Leveilleur, who popped up earlier in this expansion. Her most modern role is Tanith from Elden Ring, and this isn't actually her first appearance in Final Fantasy XIV, because she popped up all the way back in Heavensward. Twice.
But then another shot up. Then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteon, the Matea, rather. There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
A dazzling spectacle indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Oh, yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests. It shouldn't be long now, though. He often returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls. Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link the doors for you.
Please.